Apple is facing pressure from the EU, which plans to fine the company for anti-competitive App Store practices and violations of the DMA. This year saw a lot of tightening up of rules and more stringent actions being taken for violations, including levying heavy fines. The EU has been actively looking for companies that have anti-competitive practices and is ensuring they pay the penalty for non-compliance. After Google became the target of the regulations, it seems that Apple is now facing pressure from the regulatory authorities for failing to comply with the Digital Markets Act, DMA, when it comes to its App Store. Apple is under hot waters, as the EU intends to levy fines on the tech giant for its anti-competitive App Store practices. The EU has been vigorously working towards boosting competition and taking strict measures against tech giants that try to maintain dominance. Just like other big companies, Apple may soon face its first ever fine under the EU's new Digital Marketing Act for the App Store, as per a recent Bloomberg report. The regulatory authorities believe that Apple did not take the necessary steps to adjust its App Store policies to comply with the Digital Markets Act. The company has taken the option away from developers to give users cheaper options outside the App Store. The European Commission has been pursuing Apple on its breach since June this year, when it formally announced a review of the company's App Store policies in accordance with the Digital Markets Act, DMA. Specifically concerning its anti-steering rules. Apple revised its App Store policies in August so that European developers could promote alternative payment options outside the App Store. This was a significant step by Apple to align better with the requirements and give more choices to consumers. While this might seem like a huge adjustment on Apple's end, the company is making it mandatory for developers to report their purchase transactions and even pay a store service fee. While it is still ambiguous how much fine Apple would have to pay and when it would be levied, it could happen sooner than expected and in the time of the current competition commissioning Margrethe Vestager, who has been pursuing the rules quite aggressively. Regulatory authorities are proactively pursuing anti-competitive laws, and companies need to be more vigilant about their practices and keep track of whether they are in violation of any regulations to avoid getting into trouble.